What's going on? Welcome to another day of mobility. If you haven't already, get yourself in a nice comfy spot on your mat. Take a couple of nice relaxing breaths. Start to observe that breath. Don't bother changing it. Just follow it. From when it comes in through your nose, down through your system, in around your belly, and then slowly exhales again through your nose. Paying attention to that sensation of the breath. And we'll start to slowly shape that breath into a nice relaxing form. Generally, when we slow that breath down and when we direct it into the belly and when we breathe through the nose, it helps us reach a nice state of calm and allow us to heal and recover. We'll take a quick scan through the body as we're breathing. Just searching through the body for anything that's carrying tension. Any muscles that are tighter than they absolutely need to be at this moment. Just imagine breathing all that tension out and letting it float away. Let's take one more deep, relaxing breath, feeling that belly rise in the inhale. And take your time sighing out that breath. And we'll start today's routine on your left quad, focusing on that lower quad. So grabbing that lacrosse ball, going face down, searching through the lower part of that thigh muscle. You might find tension around the medial side, that teardrop vastus medialis. Might be more towards the middle, or might be along the outside, that vastus lateralis. And if you're not super in tune with the anatomy terms, don't stress. Just focus on feel. Feel out what needs attention today. What areas of that quad are carrying tension that can use some attention today. Once you've found your spot, trying your best to sync your breathing with that target tissue. As that air leaves your body, imagine breathing out tension, breathing out any negativity, any stress, any anxiety, anything weighing you down. We'll take one more breath here. Take your time sighing out that breath. And we'll shift to the right side. So if you found a good spot on the left, feel free to start in that same area. It may need the same attention, or you may have a different spot that needs attention on this side. Whatever you find needs attention on this right side, experiment a little with how you're addressing that tension. You can roll on that ball, you can lie still, you can move through the knee, you can really lean in to add some pressure to get a little deeper into that tissue. As you're working your way through that quad, just be sensitive to how your body's responding. Working within your pain-free limits. Finding that level of pressure helps that tissue to slowly start to settle down. If you've been working your way through the program for a while, remember to stay progressive if you can, adding that tiny little bit of extra pressure every time we address a tissue. Let's take one more breath here. And take your time sighing out that breath. And we'll set that lacrosse ball aside and work on some left knee traction. So sitting up, firmly grabbing that shin bone and gently pulling your shin away from the direction of your knee and gently rotating it inwards toward your midline. If you're new to this exercise, going nice and easy, feeling out how your body's responding. If you've been working your way through the program, you can be a little more aggressive. Just always being sensitive to how your body's responding. All we're looking for here is a subtle pressure release in the joint itself. You should not feel much here at all. Then we'll take one more breath. Slowly sigh out that breath. And we'll shift into the right side. Firmly grabbing that right shin, gently pulling that shin away from your body and turning it inwards. Nice and gentle. And if it's feeling okay, we can add a little bit of tension and pressure, being a tiny bit more aggressive. Again, always paying attention to your body's response. And this is a fairly active exercise, but still doing your best to stay as relaxed as you can. Relaxing through those stress muscles in your neck, your head, your face, your brow. Any muscles we don't need, consciously turn them off as you work through this knee. We'll take one more breath here. Take your time sighing out that breath. And we'll shift ourselves into a child's pose. So we'll be in our bowing position. And we'll get a little bit of a stretch through the shoulders, but our attention is still going to be on those knees. So really focus on sitting your hips as close to your ankles as possible to get your knee into a nice deep flexed position. Working within your pain-free limits. Should be zero pain. And once you've settled in, take a couple of nice, deep, relaxing breaths. Directing that air deep into that diaphragm. And slowly letting it out through the nose. And in 10 seconds, we'll gently get active through the knee by flexing through your quads, attempting to push your lower limb down through the floor. Now let's go ahead, starting with nice easy tension. Gently activating through those thigh muscles, ramping up tension as we go. Let's finish with a big squeeze here. Last 5, 3, 2, 1. Let's gently reverse. Squeeze through those hamstrings. Trying to actively pull those hips lower, closer to your heels, ramping up tension as we go. Finishing with a big squeeze. 3, 2, 1. Big breath out, relax. Let's get nice and passive. Just submit to the position. Focusing back on your breath. Scanning through your body for anything resisting this position. Just gently turn it off. Settle back in your happy place. And we'll take one more breath here. We'll slowly sigh out that breath. And we'll move into the left side upper trap. So let's find a door frame or upright of some sort with your lacrosse ball. And just placing your lacrosse ball on the top of your trap and gently pressing against that door frame or upright to get some pressure to relieve that tension through that left trap. Traps are a big stress muscle. They can carry a lot of stress and tension. Just working within your pain-free limits can sometimes take a lot of pressure to get the right relief. So just settling into that happy medium zone where we're getting an effect, but not getting into pain and not causing any muscles around those traps to tense up. Every chance we get, circling back to your breath. Nice relaxing rhythm of breath. Finding that pace and rhythm of breath that helps your mind relax, to help your body relax. We'll take one more breath here. We'll sigh out that breath. We'll keep a very similar position and shift our attention to your left first rib. We address the first rib through that pocket that sits just above your collarbone. And for most of us, that lacrosse ball is a good size to fit in that pocket. If you find it doesn't fit very well for you, feel free to use your fingertips here. But if you find a good fit in that pocket, just add some pressure. Gently leaning in against that post. This can be an area that can really restrict our overhead range, so it can be really useful to move your shoulder through some overhead positions. Those particular positions you tend to struggle with. Doing your best to stay as passive as you can. Relaxing through that target area. Relaxing through any tissues we don't absolutely need. Let's take one more long, slow, deep breath. We'll slowly let go of that breath. And we'll transition to left shoulder traction. Sticking with the same shoulder, back to your mat, into a single arm child's pose. And our goal here is to get a really subtle pressure release in the shoulder, similar to how we did for the knee earlier. So pinning that left wrist to your mat using your right hand and gently leaning back. Should be zero pain, absolutely minimal discomfort, zero feelings of instability, just a nice subtle pressure release in around the joint. Once we've settled in, concentrate on getting passive through those muscles, especially the ones close to the shoulder, in around the armpit, the back of that shoulder. Let them go to sleep. As you exhale air, imagine exhaling tension. We'll take one more breath here. As you sigh out that breath, we'll shift our attention to the right side. So back to your lacrosse ball against your upright, starting on the top side of that trap. Gently leaning in, adding some pressure to relieve that tension. Working within your pain-free limits, but also being just aggressive enough to get a good effect. If you've been working through the program or are used to some soft tissue work, you can be a little more aggressive. Just always paying attention to your body's response. And you can move against this post, you can lie still, you can move through an overhead position with your arm. These are all options to choose from. They all work to varying degrees, depending on your specific anatomy, your specific activity history, your injury history. This whole program is about getting better connected with your body. And that takes a little experimenting. What works for the video, our coaches demonstrating, may not work the best for you. Use the video as a guide. Use your body's feedback as a way to fine-tune what's going to work for you. Let's take a quick breath here. As you sigh out that breath, we'll shift our attention to the right first rib pocket. So just shifting that lacrosse ball into that pocket, assuming it's a good fit for your pocket. Otherwise, working those fingertips to this area. Finding the right level of pressure. The right position of your arm. And once you've settled into that version of the exercise, settle back into your breath. Nice relaxing rhythm of your breath. That helps your mind find calm. And let those calm vibes just work their way through your whole body. This is a fairly active exercise on your feet, but we still want to be as passive as we can. And that breath is a great tool for that. Generally, when we slow that breath down, helps slow our mind down, and helps slow our whole body down. Let's take one more deep, quality diaphragmatic breath here. We'll slowly sigh out that breath. And we'll transition into right side shoulder traction. So in that child's pose version, gently pinning your right wrist to your mat using your left hand and gently leaning away. Settling into whatever version of this exercise your body's okay with. We have a zero pain policy. If it hurts, you need to ease up or stop. If it hurts, don't do it. This whole routine should be an enjoyable experience. Nice pressure release. Focusing on your breath. This relaxing rhythm of breath helps you find calm. We'll take one more breath here. As we sigh out that breath, we'll transition into our traditional child's pose for the shoulders, so both arms overhead in a bowing position. So very similar position, we're just going to target both shoulders. A little bit of a lat stretch. A little bit through those pecs. Just sitting those hips back. Settling into whatever version is pain-free for you. It allows you to feel a decent stretch through those shoulders. Every chance we get, circling back to that rhythm and shape of your breath helps your mind find calm. And in 10 seconds, we'll gently get active by attempting to drag the floor towards your knees, pulling those shoulder blades down. And let's go ahead, starting nice and easy, pressing those palms firmly into the floor, attempting to drag that floor towards your knees, ramping up that tension as we go. Finishing with a big squeeze here, last 5, 3, 2, 1. Let's gently reverse. Imagine trying to push the floor away from your knees. Keeping that stretch through the shoulders, keeping those triceps on so your elbows are locked. Pressing the floor away, ramping up tension as we go. Big squeeze here to finish. 3, 2, 1. Big breath out, relax, nice and passive. Relax through those shoulders. Mentally running through your checklist of any muscles that are fighting the position, holding you back. Just mentally hit that off switch, let it all go. And in 10 seconds, we'll gently get active by attempting to pull your palms apart along the floor. And let's go ahead, starting with nice easy tension, pressing into that floor for resistance, attempting to spread the floor apart, ramping up that tension as we go. Let's finish with a big squeeze here, last 5, 3, 2, 1. Let's gently reverse, attempting to squeeze the floor closer together in between your hands. Ramping up that tension as we go. Finishing with a big squeeze here, last 5, 3, 2, 1. Big breath out, relax. Let's get nice and passive. Run through that checklist again. Anything that's tight, just let it go. Imagine breathing out that tension, letting it float away. We'll do one more round of getting active here. This time we're going to activate by pressing into the floor. In 5, And here we go, starting nice and easy. Imagine trying to depress the floor down through into earth, ramping up that tension as we go. Finishing with a big squeeze here, last 5, pressing down with some force. 3, 2, 1. Let's gently reverse. We're gonna pull those shoulders closer to the mat, pulling deeper into that stretch, ramping up that tension as we go. Let's finish the big squeeze here, last 5, 3, 2, 1. Big breath out, relax, nice and passive. One more time, mentally working your way through that checklist. Are we relaxed through the triceps, the biceps, the traps, that mid-back, your pecs, your lats, all those muscles? Just let them go. Let them fall asleep. And we'll take one more nice, deep, relaxing breath here. Take your time sighing out that breath, and we'll call it a day. Thanks for joining us here for some 5-pillar mobility. Hope your body's feeling great. Hope you enjoyed the routine. If you did, please do like the video and subscribe to the channel. We'll see you again tomorrow. Have a great day.